Hey everybody, Who's Your Jedi here with another review for you, this time talking the Riverdale episode, Requiem for a Welterweight. And frankly, I wasn't really all that impressed by this episode. The whole plotline with Archie and boxing was pretty much a huge snooze. I mean, him and Josie becoming intimate, okay, that's cool. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I do kind of think that's a nice relationship. But apart from that, yeah, big yawn. The sort of gang criminal crime maneuvering here, uh, not especially interesting for me. Uh, it's just, it's really, it is basically like a small town criminal turf war. And the whole thing with like, oh, Veronica trying to, say like to tell Jughead's mom like, hey, if you don't, do what I say, I'll tell Jughead what you're doing. And her is like, well, he's not going to kill me for it. Well, no, probably not, but he's certainly not going to want to have anything else to do with you. And he's sure as hell going to have a hard time forgiving you for this. And he's going to go and tell his dad, which is not going to go over especially well. Uh, Although FP seems a lot more cool with Alice's shady side than I was really no, sorry, Gladys's shady side than I was expecting. But okay, well, uh, yeah. And the thing that really gets me about all this episode is that Veronica is still trying to hold her family together, even though she knows, and this is what Gladys uses against her, and what she has to kind of throw her own self under the bus for, is that Hiram will, if sufficiently provoked, kill her mom, his wife, whom he does not actually love. So why is Veronica fighting to keep this family together when all this really does is put her mom in danger? The way you keep Hermione safe is to get her as far away from Hiram as possible. She should really be encouraging her mom to get a divorce. I mean, Hiram already has Veronica. It's pretty safe to say he and Hermione are not going to be having another child anytime soon. If that's something that Hiram had wanted, that would have happened already in the past. So, really, why does she want them to stay together, even though she knows her father does not love her mother? Her mother is afraid of him. So really, all Veronica is fighting is to keep her mom near a guy who who she is correctly believes will have her murdered if he has what he believes is a good reason. And him including a good reason is her going against him in any way, shape, or form of substance. It's ridiculous. I mean, yes, it's understandable that Veronica would want her family to be together, but look at what her family is. She's fighting, and she knows this. She knows Hiram doesn't love her mother. She knows if she goes against him in any substantive way, he will have her killed. Why? And she keeps harping on this idea of like, well, let's get out of the crime business. I mean, granted, this does sort of mean that, maybe his criminal rivals are much less likely to kill Hiram. I mean, Veronica still loves her father to some degree. She doesn't want him dead. But really, she's, in a way, fighting to keep her mother in an incredibly dangerous situation. So this all makes absolutely no sense. It really does. And really, wouldn't it be better to sort of be working to make sure that like this whole drug situation in Riverdale gets cleaned up? I mean, Veronica can go to Jughead, clue him in as to what's going on, and run Gladys out of town, have the feds arrest her. I mean, granted, his mom going to jail isn't going to be something that's going to make Jughead particularly happy, or his sister, or his dad, but but you know, okay, I guess yeah, the city being back under the control of the serpents is what's important here. Even though you know, Jughead was like, you know, the serpents shouldn't be peddling drugs. I mean, God, my God, there's just so much stuff that's going on this season that makes absolutely no sense. Now, granted, there are certain things you just sort of have to grant a show like Riverdale. I mean, Riverdale knows it's in many ways an absolutely ridiculous show. I mean, you've got like an all-girl street gang training with bows and arrows, but that's kind of the thing. Like, there's a limit to just the ridiculousness that anyone is going to grant a show. And Riverdale crosses that line on pretty frequent occasions. And this episode, I think it's especially egregious. Honestly, in a lot of ways, the conflict between Tony and Cheryl was, I think, the best written part of all of this because, you know, it is pointed out that, yeah, Cheryl seems to sort of look at the pretty poisons as her own little vanity project. And sure, she says that Tony is in charge, but as soon as it suits her, Cheryl goes in and says, okay, girls, follow me and do what I tell you. So, yeah, I think this sort of does highlight a rather noticeable rift in Tony and Cheryl's relationship. You have to wonder that if, despite all of her words, whether Cheryl really views the two of them as true and proper equals. I don't know about that. And Tony's thing is like, make me Serpent Queen. I'm Serpent Royalty. I'm Serpent by blood. So is effing Jughead. Seriously, did you kind of forget the fact that when you were a full-blooded serpent, the other members of the serpent routinely ignored you and basically kind of blew you off and made you do that stupid sexy dance? You know, that doesn't really bode well for them really respecting you as a leader. And, oh, hey, look at the way Fangs and Sweet Pea reacted when the poisons came by. It wasn't until it really dawned on them, like, oh, there's like, we're outnumbered by about, you know, there's two of us and there's like, what, 8, 9 of these girls here, that they sort of realized, like, oh, this could potentially really be bad for us. Alright, guys, that's all I really had to say this time around. So I'll call it here, and until next time, take care and have a good one.